Welcome to another video. Okay, it was White's turn. White comes up with the rook, puts the king in check. King goes back. White brings the king up. He's thinking, hey, maybe I can get this pawn and get one of my pawns up to be a queen. Let's see what Black does about that. Brings the bishop. Now the bishop is protecting this pawn. This pawn is protecting this pawn. And this pawn is protecting the bishop. Those three seem to be kind of locked in. I'm going to show you what happened here. This is what actually happened in the game. Okay, so maybe he was thinking trade his rook for this pawn, and then when the bishop takes, the king can take, and then White will have two pawns. Maybe that's what he's thinking. Let's see. King comes down, but the rook did not take. Okay, so White's thinking maybe he can push this up, maybe. But if he does, the king can take this rook. So let's see what happens. King goes there. So he does push with the pawn. The king is now threatening to take the rook. Rook gets out of the way there. King goes back. Now the computer is saying White should have gone to this square. Okay, so what actually happened was rook came up. Maybe he's thinking I'll keep the king on this back rank. King moves over. White pushes the pawn. Black goes back to e4. Now White thinks, okay, I'm never gonna, when he was here, he was thinking, okay, how am I gonna progress? I'm in trouble. So he thought, well, I'll just sacrifice the rook and maybe I can get something going. King takes the pawn, rook takes the pawn, bishop takes rook, trying to get the white H pawn to queen is almost impossible, and it's going to be a draw if the black king can get to this square. So let's see what happened. So it went like that until threefold repetition draw. So let's go back and let's turn the computer on. Now at this point, the computer is saying for the rook to come down and take. Let's do that. Now the computer is saying for the bishop not to take the rook. Now this bishop can't cover both pawns. It's not going to happen. So there's a queen. There's a queen. So that is not looking good for black. Okay, this point right here, this is fascinating. White didn't know to just bring the king into the game. Had he done this, as the computer says for the black king to go here, now it's saying push the pawn now. Bishop comes over. Rook says check. Now make the queen. Bishop takes. Rook takes. And that's a winning endgame for white. Getting the king involved. So getting the white king involved would have been the way to go. It's so wonderful to have the computer to analyze these things afterwards. So I showed you what actually happened in the game. It ended up being a draw because white just didn't know to get the king involved. Thanks for watching.